Welcome back on board Utopia of the Seas, day number 4. Now today's going to be a little bit of a different kind of video. Matt's out filming the ship tour right now, and I thought while he's doing that, I might take you guys around the ship and kind of talk about and compare how Utopia is different from Wonder of the Seas, because they are sister ships. They're pretty much similar, but there are some differences, and I thought that might kind of be helpful to break that down for you in a specific video. So we're going to talk about that today. So let's go ahead and get started. Our last day on Utopia begins right now.
Does anyone else find it funny that I'm comparing Utopia and Wonder of the Seas today, but yet I'm wearing an Icon of the Seas hat?
Okay. Now, before we go out exploring the ship and stuff like that and explain things in that way, I thought first we would kind of talk about some of the logistical differences between Wonder and Utopia, because they're pretty important. Now, currently, Utopia is going to be doing 3 and 4 night Bahamian sailings, which Royal Caribbean is advertising as the world's largest weekend. And those are out of Port Canaveral. Now, that itinerary and home port is set for Utopia for the foreseeable future. Now, Wonder of the Seas, which is also currently at Port Canaveral, is doing 7-night Eastern and Western alternating Caribbean sailings for now. It is going to eventually switch to Port Miami and be doing 3 and 4 night Bahamian sailings similar to Utopia in August of 2025. So for right now, Wonder and Utopia have very different itineraries, but in the future, they're going to have very similar itineraries. So I think this video is going to be helpful, the whole comparison thing, because they're going to have the exact same itinerary in 2025.
All right, now that we got that covered, let's go out and see some stuff.
So just to apologize ahead of time for everyone who's been watching like the previous vlogs, I'm sorry if this gets a little redundant. I know we've talked about some of this stuff before, but I figured it was worth re-mentioning it again.
Now, I'm not going to continuously mention this all day, but just like with any two ships, the art style and decor are going to be a little bit different.
I will say though, this manta ray like installation is probably my favorite like multi-deck art piece of any ship I've ever been on. It's absolutely beautiful. I love it.
Now, the first thing I'm going to talk about today is the elevators,
which I know may be kind of surprising. Like, why are elevators a point of discussion? But they are, and they really should be.
Now, Utopia has adopted this new style of elevator system where you don't like push the traditional like up and down button and then wait for the first like elevator opening bay to like pop up. You go here and press which deck you want to go to, and it tells you which letter of elevator bay that you go to, and then you just go to that and you go on your merry way, and then it'll take you right up or down.
This is so much more efficient. It gets you the elevator faster, it keeps them from getting crowded. It just causes a lot less congestion, and we absolutely love them. Now, Wonder of the Seas still has the traditional elevator system. So if getting around is important to you, Utopia wins in that.
Okay, I know I said I wasn't going to talk about art, but look, this is made out of a bunch of tiny little bits of paper, like all rolled and like look, it's a paper chameleon.
Okay, back on track. My plan is I'm just gonna kind of go to like all the major neighborhoods and like major spots of the ship and kind of point out differences as I see them in that area. So I hope that makes sense, and I hope it's helpful.
The first neighborhood I'm gonna pop into is the Royal Promenade. And other than some general like decor choices and of course the car display on board, there's not a lot of huge differences. But one major feature difference over here on the aft side of the promenade is this new bar, the Pesky Parrot, only on board Utopia of the Seas. It has a very tropical vibe, very quirky, kind of like Key West-esque to me. It has like some funny kind of like decor, and of course it has Brian the Parrot, which everyone has come to know and love now.
Enjoy yourselves. Your credit card statement won't come for another 2 or 3 weeks. Oh yeah.
Words that every cruiser lives by. Thank you, Brian.
Now at this location on Wonder of the Seas, you will find not the pesky parrot, but you'll find the bionic bar, which is where like the mechanical arms will mix and make your drink for you and deliver it to you, and you can like build your own concoctions. It's really fun. So if you're a bar hopper, this might be important to you. Do you want the pesky parrot in the company of Brian? Or do you want a Robotronic kind of experience? The choice is yours and yours alone.
Doesn't these shells look like they're made of like a ton of those like magnetic balls that you can like put together? I really want to like touch one to kind of like test that theory. Nope, it's welded. No magnetic forces here. Magneto would be disappointed. Since we're right off of the promenade, let's come over to the Royal Theater and talk about that. Now, of course, both ships have a Royal Theater, but they're going to be showing different kinds of shows.
Now, the main show for Utopia is called All In! Exclamation point. And it's basically a compilation of musical numbers that invite like party or like celebration and that kind of stuff. It doesn't have like a specific plot or storyline in place, but if you like to listen to singing and watch dancing and stuff, it was very good for that. Now on Wonder of the Seas, the main stage show is Effectors 2, the sequel to Effectors that was on Odyssey of the Seas, and it has Royal Caribbean's like self-made like superheroes and their like adventure and catching the bad guys, crash and burn and stuff like that. So that show does have a specific story, and of course, as you would guess from the show Effectors, it has a lot of special effects in the show.
Now, theater is probably one of the most subjective things on earth, so I can't tell you point blank which one's better.
But if I was gonna pick a show to watch again, I would watch Effectors 2 on Wonder of the Seas.
Now, while we're on the topic of shows, let's hop over here to Studio B and talk about the ice shows on board. On Utopia of the Seas, the ice show is called Utopia, and it's basically about what makes your utopia, your paradise, and different things that people find their paradise with.
It's a really beautiful show. Absolutely loved it. Love the message. 100% recommend. Now on Wonder of the Seas, the ice show is 365, the seasons on ice. And this is also another very beautiful show. It's so colorful. It takes you through all the seasons and it's absolutely amazing. I've said for a long time that this is my favorite ice show on any Royal Caribbean ship.
That's until Utopia came along though.
Honestly, I don't know which ice show I like better. I would maybe still give the edge a little bit to 365 on Wonder, but honestly, it's really a tie between both of these ice shows. You really can't go wrong on either ship, so we'll call that a draw.
Khaleesi, I brought you another dragon egg so you can once again rule the Seven Kingdoms.
Now, before I leave Studio B, there is one more thing I need to talk about that is happening in Studio B on both ships, and that is laser tag.
Now, both ships do have laser tag, but they're different themed laser tags. So on Utopia of the Seas, it is the Battle for Planet Z, where the theme is like aliens and like space and all that kind of stuff. And on Wonder of the Seas, the theme is Clash of the Crystal City, where it's like Yeti versus, I don't remember, snowman. I don't remember. It's not snowman, but it's like something. It's all icy.
Both laser tags are the exact same in terms of like design and how it operates. It's completely included. It's just like a different like decor and theming. Both, you can't go wrong. Attic Kitty is waiting in anticipation, wondering what's next. Don't worry, Attic Kitty. This next one will not disappoint you. Here on Deck 4, our next stop, train fun, is the Utopia Station. Now, the Royal Railway Utopia Station debuted with Utopia of the Seas, and it's a hyper-themed new restaurant. It's right in here. We can't go inside, but it emulates and gives you the experience that you are on a train, and you're on a moving train during a dining experience, and there's some dinner theater that goes with that. Apparently, it's a very, very cool experience. However, very exclusive and very hard to get into. So if this is something you want to experience on Utopia of the Seas, you really have to be on top of getting a reservation.
Now, as I mentioned, this restaurant debuted on Utopia of the Seas, so of course it doesn't exist on Wonder of the Seas. So
what is in this deck 4 aft location on Wonder of the Seas. On Wonder of the Seas, this is actually where Azumi Sushi and Hibachi takes place. Where is Azumi on Utopia of the Seas? Did they get rid of Azumi? Luckily, they did not, because that would be the most heartbreaking thing in the world. Also, just side note, I've had the hardest time filming this in this area because so many people just sit on the stairs in front of this ticker. Like, I don't know, that's just like a hangout spot apparently. Either this ticker is super mesmerizing or they're just like hoping their name will pop up saying like, hey, you got into the restaurant. I swear, I'm like a dog. I get distracted so much. Back on point, back on focus. Where's Azumi? They put it right here in Central Park. But the Azumi experience is still gonna be pretty much the same between both ships. Both have the hibachi portion and both have the sushi portion. And the menu between both Azumis is gonna be the exact same as well. Now I will say here on Utopia, right there is the start of Azumi, sushi and hibachi, and it goes all the way down to here. So you have a lot more room, so you'll probably have an easier time getting a reservation here on Utopia than you would on Wonder. Now while Azumi Sushi and Hibachi is basically the same experience on both ships, there are a few differences with Utopia that makes Azumi special. And one of those is Azumi in the park. And as you can see, it's connected to the restaurant. It shares the same kitchen. However, this is a walk-up counter. Anybody can come up to get it, and you can get some specific Azumi items to go, like sushi, they have some dumplings, and of course they have the famous bubble cones. Now, Azumi in the park or any to-go Azumi items is not available on Wonder, only on Utopia. And another Azumi feature found on Utopia that will not be found on Wonder is somewhere in here is Azumi Omakase, which is going to be kind of like a chef's table kind of experience. It will be an individualized Japanese dinner curated specifically for you and your guests. And once again, only found here on Utopia, will not be found on Wonder. Now, if Azumi is taking up like a quarter of Central Park here on Utopia, what is this space being used for on Wonder of the Seas? On Wonder of the Seas, it's actually where Giovanni's kitchen was located, as well as Giovanni's wine bar. Which leads us to another question. Did they get rid of Giovanni's on Utopia? No, they did not. They just moved it. Do you know where Giovanni's is, Little Elephant? Little Elephant said we should go up to deck 12. So let's see if you should take directional advice from an elephant. Ah, it was right. I guess elephants are both wise and have a good internal compass. Now here on deck 12, this is actually the wine bar portion of Giovanni's kitchen and wine bar. And then down here on deck 11 is actually where the seating is going to be for the Giovanni's kitchen, like the main restaurant area. And as you can see, they actually have a balcony out there looking out over at the boardwalk, which is a really cool view. So it's kind of interesting, like both Giovanni's on Wonder and Utopia, you're getting two very like interesting views. On Wonder, you're getting the Central Park view, which is very beautiful, and here you're getting like the over like boardwalk kind of view, which is also very nice. I don't know which one's better. They're just both kind of like different in their own way. Now, if this is taking up space on Utopia, what is taking up this space on Wonder of the Seas? Now that would be Wonderland, the Wonderland restaurant, the one that's like a very like inventive kind of like multi-course meal where it's like, I don't know, your food does weird things and it looks in different ways. It looks like one thing, tastes like another. Like it's a very unique experience, kind of like Alice in Wonderland vibes. Very cool. But if this is where Wonderland would be on Wonder of the Seas, where is Wonderland on Utopia, you may ask? Well, there is no Wonderland on Utopia of the Seas. So that's where the hopping around at restaurants trend ends for us. There is no Wonderland on Utopia of the Seas. So if you really want that Wonderland experience, you have to experience that on Wonder of the Seas. You cannot experience that on Utopia. Now that we got that restaurant biz sorted out, let's take a look at where we're gonna hop over to next, down at the boardwalk. See you there in a flash. Haha! So for the most part, the boardwalk on Wonder of the Seas and Utopia of the Seas are basically carbon copies. There's not a lot of differences other than the name that's on top. One thing that's minor but may be important to some, here at Playmakers, both ships have Playmakers, but we noticed that Utopia of the Seas has put more televisions like out on the boardwalk, like extending towards where you enter right here. And I don't know, I know watching sports in a sports place is kind of a big deal for some people, so if it is, Utopia may have some more screen options.
But don't worry, both ships have Playmakers, which is really, at the end of the day, all that matters with anything in this world.
Now, the major difference with the boardwalk to note between the two ships is going to be which aqua show you are going to see on board.
Here on Utopia, the aqua show is Aqua 82, which is a sequel and pays homage to the original aqua show Aqua 80 on Oasis of the Seas. And the aqua show on Wonder of the Seas is called Intense. It's kind of like bringing in a lot of intense or like extreme elements. It was the first aqua show that has an all-women's cast, which is really cool and special. Now, once again, if you're asking me to subjectively give my opinion on which aqua show I like more, I'm personally gonna pick Aqua 82 here on Utopia of the Seas. But keep in mind, all aqua shows on any of the Oasis class ships and Icon of the Seas is absolutely amazing. You can't go wrong. Just if I was going to pick between Intense on Wonder or Aqua 82 on Utopia of the Seas, I'm gonna pick Aqua 82.
And while the actual aqua show is different, the design of the aqua theater is the same between Utopia and Wonder. Both have this like beveled kind of glass dome sort of thing, which I really love. It looks beautiful at night. And the seating is the same. So the show is going to be different, but the venue is exactly the same.
Up and up the stairs we go. Where to? Nobody knows.
Actually, I know. I'm coming up here to the Adventure Ocean area, the kids club, but not for the kids club. I'm actually coming up here for the Royal Escape Room.
Now, on paper, both Wonder of the Seas and Utopia of the Seas should have escape rooms available on board that you can do for an additional cost. In reality, though, not so much.
We've been on Wonder of the Seas 3 times now, and we've checked at the spot where the escape room should be each time, and every time it's not labeled as such, and it's not finished, and it's not being operated as an escape room.
So unless there's been a major change since the last time we've been on Wonder of the Seas does not have an escape room.
However, Utopia of the Seas does. It's called Escape U Freshman Year. It kind of has like a college sort of theme to it.
And not only is this a new theme for the Royal Caribbean Fleet, but also this is a 30-minute long escape room experience, where most escape rooms that you experience both on land and at sea are an hour long.
Now, this does come at an additional cost, but it is here. It is functional. It is like not just an on-paper concept. You can touch it. It is there. It is operating for you to experience on Utopia.
Wonder of the Seas, not so much.
Isn't that right, Chromie?
All right, I came up to the pool deck areas on decks 15 and 16, and I'm going to talk about what, in my opinion, is one of the biggest differences between Utopia and Wonder.
And it has nothing to do with the pool deck's actual layout. Both ships are going to have the central part kind of like cutting through the pool deck, and here on the forward side, you're going to have like more of the family activities with the splash pad and the water slides. And over here on the aft end of the pool deck, both ships are going to have these standalone pools that have the video board up above. Now, what you're going to find a difference in is the overall vibe, especially with these video board pools here.
Now, on Wonder of the Seas, both the forward and aft pools are going to have the very typical cruise like family vibe. It's going to be what you know from cruising.
Now with Utopia of the Seas, it's a completely different vibe. Like I said, especially with these video board pools right here.
Utopia of the Seas is definitely adopting more of a party style atmosphere with the pools, but with other things too. For example, when you board on boarding day, you not only have a list of entertainment, but you have a list of parties that are going on board. Things like a toga party, things like a college theme, kind of like CocoCay sort of soiree. There was a huge sail away party at the pools, the video board pools, where it got way more rowdy, played house music than any other sail away party I have seen on a Royal Caribbean ship. Now, I say all this, on Utopia, I haven't seen anything where anything went too far or anything where it became like inappropriate for kids or anything like that. But I'm saying this with a note that it's very loud music, music that you're meant to dance to, music that you're meant to party to, especially here on the pool deck at those video board pools. If you're looking for the world's biggest weekend where you can party it up, you can live it up, and you have no qualms with loud music or sensory issues or something like that, you'll probably love Utopia. However, if that's not really your vibe and you're looking for more of a traditional cruising experience, not with that added party atmosphere, Wonder of the Seas is going to be more for you, at least for now, while Wonder is doing 7-night sailings. Now, when Wonder switches to 3 and 4 night sailings, I don't know, they may adopt like the Utopia world's greatest, biggest weekend party mentality. I'm not sure if they're going to adopt that different kind of party atmosphere when they switch over to the 3 and 4 night sailings to kind of mirror Utopia. That's going to be yet to be seen, but at least for right now, Wonder has that typical cruising, family cruise vibe to it. But other than the vibe difference, there's not really a lot of design differences between Wonder and Utopia's pool deck, except for right here on Wonder of the Seas. Remember they had those like stair step kind of stadium seatings that went up, and it had the spaceman that you could get pictures with and stuff like that. Here on Utopia, they left it open and just have a small stair step to get up to the top. Not a big deal, but just a minor design difference. More of a major difference underneath the video board over here by the aft pools. If we turn this way here on Utopia, they added a new food location called Spare Tire, where you can get like kind of some like quick grab and go, like small bites, like little sandwiches, or these tornadoes that they're calling. They kind of taste like pizza rolls or like taquito kind of things. And it's all free and included with your cruise fare. And this is not found on Wonder of the Seas. There's not any food location here actually. So it's really nice that on Utopia you're getting an additional food location. And last but not least, we have reached the sport deck, the last major area that we're going to cover today. And for the most part, we're not going to see any major differences. Both ships have the basketball court, the zip line, the same aquatic style mini golf on the side, and a single flow rider wave here. Now both Utopia and Wonder have a playscape, which is like a kids kind of play area where they can jump and run around, go down slides, all that good stuff. They made a few changes to it here on Utopia of the Seas. Like they added this lighthouse that like lights up and everything and has a slide that goes through it. I believe on Wonder of the Seas this was like a big wave kind of thing. Once again, not a huge difference, but a difference nonetheless. An interesting kind of difference between the two ships is going to be here at the Ultimate Abyss. Now both ships do have an Ultimate Abyss, which is a dry slide that takes you from here up on the sports deck, and you can slide all the way down to the boardwalk. Now the difference between the two Ultimate Abysses is that Wonder of the Seas has the traditional layout in track where you go down several loops and you end up down at the boardwalk. Here on Utopia of the Seas, they changed the design a little bit to where you don't do as many loops, but you end up having this straightaway that has rollers on it and this like clear end cap, and it brings a lot of brightness into the abyss in certain spots, and it kind of looks like you're gonna like go out of it because it's clear at the end. So both have an Ultimate Abyss, but it's just a little bit of a different layout. And I saved the absolute best, most intriguing, most important difference between Utopia of the Seas and Wonder of the Seas for the very end. Are you ready for it? I don't know if you are, because this is huge, guys. This is a big deal. And that is nothing other but shaved
ice. That's right across from the Ultimate Abyss here at the Wipeout Bar, they added a shaved ice stand to the Wipeout Bar here on Utopia. It does come at an additional cost, but you can pick up to 3 flavors and they have a lot to choose from, and you can even add some toppings on it as well. And you can even make it an adult alcoholic version if you so choose. Now, Wonder of the Seas does have a Wipeout Bar, but it does not include the shaved ice option. So these are the important things we need to note here.
All right, friends, that's going to do it for me today here on Utopia of the Seas. I really hope this video was helpful in kind of comparing these two sister ships. Like I said before, they're a lot alike, but they do have some differences, and especially once they have the same itinerary, I hope this helps you pick which of the sister ships is going to be right for you, whether it's Utopia or Wonder. You really can't go wrong, and I hope whatever you pick, you have a great time with. And of course, me and Matt are travel agents. If you want any further help with your Royal Caribbean booking, we'd be happy to help you. All the information from our travel agency is in the description below, and we'd love to help you. I think Matt is probably done with the ship tour now, so I'm gonna go find him, and I think we're gonna go have a perfect day out there. But until next time, we're signing off. We'll see you at the next one. We love you all, and happy travels.